Okay, welcome back to session 2 of Call of Cthulhu in New York. Last we left our investigators, we had just entered the Tunnel of Mystery.
These are not real cigarettes, by the way.
Hey, kids,
Don't give it away at the beginning!
smoking isn't cool.
Yeah.
No, that's actually right. These are not real cigarettes, we promise.
Tabletop talk. Tabletop talk.
Are we violating some
Look at my
YouTube
face, please.
Absolutely not.
agreement where it says you can't sell alcohol, tobacco, or firearms?
What are
No,
we
it's just
selling?
like we all look like idiots smoking
That's true.
indoors.
Right.
Why are your cigarettes from big
If you want to be cool like
cigarettes?
these cool kids.
In the 80s, it was cool to smoke indoors.
It's true.
And
Yeah,
currently
I mean,
in
like,
Japan.
We should have had a smoke machine, just kind of like
Oh,
getting
that'd be
a nice
amazing.
layer of cloud.
I wish you guys were all old enough to have experienced just one time being on an airline flight where everybody was
Oh
smoking.
god.
No.
With the recycled
Gross.
air too.
If
Except for
only
Arlo.
I was old enough
I did it
to
at
shorten my
casino, and
lifespan.
I feel like it's the same feeling.
Yep. Just imagine flying to Hong Kong with Asian chain smokers. 20 hours. All right.
Sorry.
So one quick bit of bookkeeping before we get in character. I got all of your character sheets this week, and so I was able to like compare your character design to your backstory. And so we gotta do a little bit of editing real quick here.
Oh, this is the critical feedback.
Oh no, it's not that part.
Nick,
What rate you're building as?
It's the
Four.
growth. It's
We'll
the
get to
critical
that.
failure.
Oh, jeez.
Nick, we're gonna have to
No,
rewrite
please.
your character completely, and we're
Yeah.
gonna edit you out of the first episode.
Yeah,
Just get my
it's
sheet back,
it,
which is a
it
big
turns out
minus.
someone is dying today
I'm
because
sorry, I
you
hate your
clearly
character.
cheated in your build.
Very bad.
You made several mistakes. You misspelled Cthulhu.
Oh my gosh.
we all
You
did.
misspelled
but-
New York.
Oh yeah, if you misspelled New York, I think there
there
would be a reason to get rid of you early.
Okay.
By the way, I want to point out that for Arlo's character on the back, there's a part where he wrote backstory and he was describing his traits and he says flaky and nervous. For the entire week after I got the sheet I was looking at, I thought it said flabby and nervous. And I'm
not
like,
the
wow,
case.
that's a very interesting character trait that you're so flabby. I was like, I wonder how that works out in play.
Flabby and nervous. I begin to
Robert.
quake.
My size is 45, James.
It's like
Danielle.
well,
Are
yeah,
you short?
that was the
Oh
other
my
thing, by the
God.
way. After I got the
Oh,
character
no.
sheets,
She's
That's why I
I
have
got
such
to
big hair.
Okay, run.
actually
Aw.
look at your character descriptions. And like, I was like, they
That's
did not
me.
look like how I thought they looked.
Oh,
First of
I'm
all,
like a tall
most of you are enormous. Like, I was like, why are you so large?
I know.
There's something in the water.
Yes, I know. So,
We're all very tall.
We spent a lot of time in the New York sewer system.
yes, it's like
Yeah.
apparently whatever. So speaking of which, that's actually a good segue.
Wonderful.
So it
Yeah.
turns out because of the nature of the
Okay,
build
great.
of this story and how you were
Nice.
brought in and how the action started early, you've all actually already had some contact with the Cthulhu world, and so there's some mythos points that you guys need to have.
Hell yes!
Yes. Oh, I was
And you
really
also
hoping
have,
you'd do some.
Is
So-
that good?
No, not
No,
really.
it's not.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
It lowers your total sanity.
But
Yes.
we're all
Everybody
excited.
did.
Wait, the more you know about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you'll all be fine because it lowers your maximum total sanity, and all of you have low enough sanities already
Yeah.
that that's not going to matter. Like most of the games I've played with, there's at least 1 to 2 people who have like a sanity of 70 or 80 or something. I think all of you are below 70 by a lot.
No,
so
I have
Yeah.
70.
I
You
have
have exactly
40.
yeah,
I'm
like
40,
are you the lowest at 40?
twins.
I think you guys are
You're
low.
gonna die.
I have
Yeah.
You're gonna
45.
die.
Yeah, you
So
guys
I'm
are all
pretty
pretty low.
close.
You have
So
lower
anyway.
than mine, which is saying something.
So your
What is
Cthulhu
yours?
Mythos
65.
score will lower
I
your
have 70.
maximum sanity score. So basically, everyone's maximum is 99. So if you have a Mythos of 8, your maximum sanity can be 91.
Okay, so it
Oh.
doesn't decrease from where we start. It
No.
decreases from the maximum.
Because we can go up and down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, so here we go. So Desmond,
Mhm.
Jude, and Robert, you should currently all have 3 points of Cthulhu Mythos.
So that you would put that in the...
Yeah.
It's a skill,
Yeah,
right?
it's on the
Okay.
left-hand side
It's
under
right
credit
below-
There
rating.
it is.
Yeah,
there
right
it
below
is.
credit rating.
Okay.
4, you say?
3.
3.
And what is that? What do we do with
And-
sanity then? Bring it
And
down 3 points?
no, your sanity for
Oh,
each
it did it
Our
automatically.
sanity is
Never mind.
capped at now 96,
Yeah.
right.
right?
So that should be fine. That
misunderstood
won't.
that
That
rule.
will almost certainly not come up in the game.
Check
But
your understanding.
I hope
In
I
ex-
get enough mythos to make it come up.
in
I don't think
in exchange, you will all 3 of you also lose 1 point of actual sanity.
Okay.
Okay, down to 49.
64.
Did I lose sanity for my failed sanity check last time, or did I not?
You should have. Did you not?
I don't think I did. How much did
I hear
do
the
I
elder
lose?
gods. They want food.
I don't think
Let
I don't
me
think it came
type.
up. I just
Let
stuff
me
happened
type.
as a result.
Let
But
me type.
we
Let's skip
didn't
it because
mention
I don't have that number in front of me right now, and I don't want to make it.
Oh, it won't
Okay,
let me do
just,
it.
no,
No, that's
yeah,
the
We'll
link
check
for
the
that.
tapes.
if we need to
Oh,
plug
yeah,
that
we'll
back
check
in
it
later,
later.
then we can.
Okay.
I understand.
Now, for those of you who have actually been touched by an angel, as it
Hey.
were, Danielle and Arlo, you should
Was that
both
down
have
one
6
Yes.
Cthulhu Mythos points.
Oh.
Because unbeknownst to you,
Damn it,
you
I
guys
want
have actually made contact with entities,
Oh,
Great.
whether you know it or not.
Damn it.
And you should both lose 2 actual
Three's
points of
looking
sanity.
good, huh?
Oh, no.
Oh, give me a break,
That will
James.
both be.
My life couldn't get better.
lose 2 what?
2 actual
Actual
points.
sanity points.
So my total's 63 now, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Hey,
38.
Get wrecked.
Danielle's at 38.
Ooh,
so,
new low. We did it.
so you're fighting for the insane thing.
Oh,
Well, you are in so much trouble.
I'm casting
gonna-
spells
no,
this
I'm
time.
gonna learn to
So
control
help
the
me.
mannequin.
Is your power
that's
really?
right.
Is your power really low?
My power.
James has been waiting to be that
It's
guy
40,
who like
yeah.
sacrifices all of you like for every
Wow.
season. It's like-
Just
Hey, I have
I
a
just wanna be able to
constitution
do
of
magic.
30, so
I got an
You don't
appearance
I'm
of
very,
remember
30.
in,
I'm very
Westphalia.
physically squishy.
I got so close.
all right, and finally,
I'm
Teddy, you
did.
have 8 Cthulhu Mythos points.
Yes.
Nice.
How many?
That fits.
8.
Nice.
Yes, because not only have you been touched, but you decide to be touched again, and you had witnesses this
You've been
time.
slapped.
Hey,
Yes,
so
just
this
slapped
isn't
around.
actually gonna help us
Well, it
Yeah.
will.
And you lose
So
3
if
points.
you
of
make
sanity.
it through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you
Uh,
ever need to
total-
know about the
at least
mythos,
3
you have a
points.
6% chance
Okay.
of knowing about it.
Yeah.
Or 3.
So you're at 37.
No, I mean the
Yeah.
therapy treatment.
And then
It's
does
not
that
actually
lower the
gonna
max
help
as well? or-
The max is just
We're
automatically lowered.
Maybe.
The max is
Depends on what you
basically
consider to
capped
be
by
help.
99
Yeah, exactly.
minus your Cthulhu Mythos.
Okay.
So if your Mythos ever gets up to 50,
Is there like an ability to like
your
become like
cap of sanity will be 50.
but
Or
not
49.
fucking die?
Okay.
Is there a what?
So my
Is there
max
like
should
a
be
way
oh,
to
right,
become
49 for
powerful
max
and
then.
not die?
Because
No,
the
the
start-
power
no,
of
your
Cthulhu
max
is that
is
you either go
90.
insane.
Well, there's a 40.
One.
There's a start,
Give
then there's a
up.
max
Yeah, you're
here,
just like-
and
How do you
then
give
the
up if
max
you're in
here.
a game?
And-
Yeah.
Should I not put 49?
Oh, I'm
character
sorry.
either
Yeah,
goes
this is
insane,
that's fine.
dies,
This max
or
is
you
whatever
say,
you
I
start
don't
with.
want to know about this anymore. It's
I
too
think-
dangerous.
No, I start at 40.
But that rarely.
And
Whichever
it
is
says
the
49 is the max
whichever
that I
is the
have.
right
And
thing
because there's
to
a
do for
max
your character.
column right here. It says
Yeah.
max.
The idea behind this
How
game
did
is
that
not to
max
get
number
powerful.
get
It's to,
calculated?
You just
to
said that.
slowly,
You said
progressively
49.
get worse and
No, no.
worse.
49
Oh!
is what would
Okay,
happen
so
if
it's
you
not
ever got up
necessarily
to
like you're
50
doing bad
Cthulhu
in the game
Mythos.
if you're
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah.
going crazy.
I would
The
leave
max
that
is
blank
the
and
point.
trust you.
That's,
Oh,
we're
okay.
trying to go
I mean, it's
crazy.
bad because
This is
your
impossible.
character
Let's,
is insecure,
let's
but
gather.
that's kind of the idea
Okay,
of
all
the
right.
whole horror.
Cool. So
Yeah.
there's no positive end game. We did
There is not. This is called Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It's, no,
Fantastic.
no one
Yeah,
is
the
trying to
end
get
game is
out.
we
I
all
just wanted
die
to make sure that I
spectacularly.
wasn't going to like be not striving towards something I wouldn't be able to get.
No,
Yeah,
it's kind of
that's
like
right.
slower
Yeah.
paced dread.
Great.
Where we all
Yeah.
just die.
It's a tragedy. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, unless your goal is to just kill everyone else in the party and be the last one, like holding the steel beating hearts of your allies.
Everybody but me because I have to paint it.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like,
but it's okay because Arlo's special ability is he just needs to be near you to get you to die horribly. So it's like,
I don't believe that yet.
yes, yes, and luckily you haven't learned how to control it. So
everything I touch dies.
Maybe I'll keep you around to like get rid of Cassup and just take the risk.
I'm gonna end up getting used this
Hey,
game.
did you know there's an apartment next to mine that's open?
Really?
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Well,
is like
you
the-
got a lot of money now.
Yeah, that's true.
this is Love Boat Cthulhu edition. All right, so last you remember, you were led into a hallway by Ian, and you're now in a dug-out hallway. It's dimly lit by these little wall sconce lights that you know how in like mines they have these like little small lights that have like wires that run between them. They're like little cages.
Mhm.
That's how this whole hallway is lit.
I put out my cigarette. It's
Yeah.
gonna get bad in here.
Yes, thank you.
Look at us smoking
And
here.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yay!
oh, it's like Mythos.
But now it won't do the
Sandy
work for
check
me.
is.
Those of you who can see that, Ryan's character sheet just magically appeared at the table.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Whoa.
It's strangely green now. It's like
Well,
the
it is
printer in
green.
this
It
house.
is green.
It starts
Oh,
off
it
green.
really is green. Oh,
green.
okay. I thought it was like somehow
Yeah.
Yeah.
the printer just could not
They
get its
spent
colors
color
figured
ink
out.
on my
James,
sheet.
that's not green, that's Eldritch Emerald.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That got well.
Okay.
All right, so so the door closed behind you, and unlike the door on the inside of the apartment, which was very typical, a normal in-house door that's like plywood and whatnot,
That's
on
just
this side,
for now.
after the door closes behind you, it looks like a heavy oaken door with like brass rivets in it, and these like gigantic like metal hinges, so that it looks like it's a much heavier door on this side. And for those of you who like remember your like random Dungeons and Dragons things that the kiddies play these days, it's like one of those like dungeon halls. So he's leading you down the hallway, and it seems like it's a very long walk. Like you're pretty sure that you're walking like maybe half a mile at least. Like it's just this long meandering tunnel, and after what seems like maybe 40 minutes of just walk. So by the way, during the 40 minutes of walking, is anyone actually going to be talking to Ian or interacting with him?
Oh, Ian.
Yes.
Or talking to each other.
Or talking to each other, because it's a pretty long walk.
Yeah.
Like you've just been led into this tunnel.
I'm probably going to be barraging Ian with questions that he probably doesn't feel the need to.
Well, do you have a summary of the types of questions you're asking? Because Ian will interact with you. He's not like, we are now in the boat of Karan, and I would just silently like roll.
silent.
I guess they
Oh.
mostly have to do with like, well, how are you changing space? What are like modifying three-dimensional space?
Oh, those
What-
kinds of questions.
Yeah. It's like,
His answers are going to be generally okay.
why can't I go back home? Like, what is the actual like apartment thing?
So
Indicate what are you saying
So
exactly?
he'll give you this interesting talk that involves like space folding, and he talks about like how like. Are you familiar with that famous example where people
Does he fold a piece of paper in
like,
half
where
and
they
poke a
fold
hole
piece
in
of
it?
paper
Like
and
in
poke a hole
Wrinkle in
it?
Time.
He literally
Like A
gives
Wrinkle
you
in
that
Time or
example.
Interstellar or
Oh,
the other
that's-
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Time
man,
is
I
the
would
ant
only
on the
I would
dress
only
thing.
understand that if
I
I
know,
was
but
a highly trained astronaut.
Yes, like every space movie ever, right? So he gives you this whole thing about how like space is like a piece of paper and it can be folded. And he goes, yeah, it's this very interesting technology. Mathematicians have been looking at it for a long time. It just turns out that my agency and those who work with us and others who have done this kind of research have discovered the secrets long, long ago.
Wait, so he straight up tells us he can bend space-time.
Oh, yes. In fact, he's
Okay.
telling you.
Why do you not believe that? Have
Because
you
you're
seen
already
these?
experiencing it.
We've already
Yeah.
seen it.
Well,
Yeah.
it was never really
Oh
clear
my
to me
gosh.
because the thing in the
You've
bathtub,
experienced it?
I didn't know
Oh,
if it was
Stretch out the
real
bathtub.
or if it was my visions freaking out again. Because I've seen weird things
Wait,
so
So
far.
it's you as an
Well, everyone else
entity,
saw
or
it
you're
too.
using
And the
some
tunnel
sort of
could be done.
technology?
That's true.
And he quotes you that very famous quote that says, technology sufficiently advanced
Oh,
is
get out.
indistinguishable from magic. And he's like super coy about it, like he's like,
Oh.
silver sword, and you like that kind of thing.
I have
Is
a
this
warp
technology
drive.
created by humans or
Little
taken
bunny
from
hops
something
out
else?
of his hat and
You know,
everything.
there's a lot going on that I think you should slowly come to understand. I think it may be too much if I review too much too early.
What do you mean, like aliens or something?
Well, aliens is kind of... It's probably not the way you think of it. You know, aliens are... You're probably thinking Little Green Man and Roswell and that kind of thing. Let me put it to you this way. There are actually little green men, but they're not from Mars.
Okay. So this dugout tunnel, I just wanted clarification. What are the walls made of again? Is it dirt?
It's mostly like stonework.
Okay. Dungeon hall. Got it.
But it's not like stonework like giant bricks like in a castle in England or something like that.
Right.
But more like
Like bedrock? Like
yeah, like
blasted?
earthen rock, like it's been dug out.
I
like
see.
this, so
Wow.
Like a
yeah.
mine shaft.
Yeah, more like exactly like a mine shaft
Okay.
actually. So it feels like it would be what the underground of New York would be like. It was just bored out, as opposed to like, oh, we're now in Ireland or something like that, and this is like a mine tunnel.
Yeah, I straight up ask him, are we still in New York?
Oh yes, you definitely are.
Okay.
Effectively, you're still in New York.
Pretty trippy, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, you know, for the work that we do, we sort of have to have sort of an easy way of getting around. Oh, by the way, the one thing you all noticed now that you've been kind of chit-chatting and walking and talking, is that it seems like it's just a tunnel. Like there's no other turns and things like that. The tunnel just keeps going, and it seems like it's going directly from one point to another. And there's no like side tunnels. There are no doors along the way, and this wiring and these lights. Like at this point, you're far enough in that it seems like as far as you can see ahead of you and as far as you can see behind you, it's just tunnels.
You guys had like bicycles down here or something.
Yeah, or like a subway car.
Yeah, trolley. Cute little.
Yeah.
You know, you're not the first ones to mention this kind of thing. But
So, we're not the first ones to come down here.
oh no, we use these tunnels all the time. They're quite well traveled.
But
That's why we put
do
in the
you
lights.
do you use this for other therapy sessions?
Sure. It's mostly staffers who use it. We don't that frequently bring clients down here. But this is a very special situation.
So, wait a minute. This like institute you work for, are you guys like? Are we talking like some high up thing? Like, do you like work for the president?
Of the United States?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who at this
Like-
time in the 1980s
Probably.
would be Ronald
there's my
Reagan?
dice.
Yes.
It's probably,
Okay, sweet.
It's probably much higher than
I
that,
just
dude.
found my dice back.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I left my dice here. I just realized that. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's very recommended. No, no, not at all. In fact, we are not exactly a governmental agency at all. In fact, we don't answer to any earthly government. That would be very difficult to maintain the continuity of our work if that were the case.
Oh,
Governments are unstable, after all.
Earth.
because I
This
heard.
government especially, it's so young, there's no certainty that it will last much longer.
Oh, okay. Because I heard that Reagan like used to talk to this like seer lady or something like that. I forget her name. Anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah, this one, he's something of another, I guess.
Wait a minute. So you said earthly government.
Yes.
So like are the little green men in charge here?
No. We have our own board of directors.
Okay.
Are they humans?
Most of them, yes.
Didn't realize there was an
So,
alternative here.
what-
Now we're-
I want to like hang back a little bit as we're walking, like
Are they
hopefully out of
mad?
Ian's earshot, and like whisper to people
I
like,
mean, like,
maybe we should try to find a way out of here.
have you ever met an alien? I mean, like,
I'm already like sketching out like what I think is the power structure of their organization.
I've never met one that you.
I'm drawing like little
Aliens
octopus
exist.
men.
No,
It's
it's just like
Well, I mean,
board of
there's-
directors, like
there's
offshoot.
space, isn't there?
Ian,
Oh, yes.
what-
so far it's
Ian's
just two
coming
circles.
completely
It's
out
like
of the realm of
board and
possibility.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Uh-huh.
then.
Recruiter?
By the way,
question mark?
very quickly you realize that the tunnel is very good sound conducting. And so it's like Ian's like, right here, I can hear you. It's like-
Oh,
We
so
don't-
you can't whisper in here,
It's
basically.
that
Get away with
it's that East Coast
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
We don't care. We
yeah,
just keep
exactly,
pressing on.
right? And he's not pressuring you about it. Like he realizes that you're a little bit weirded out by the whole thing.
Mhm.
You can tell that he's very much trying to be as upfront as possible to allay your affairs. Like he's trying his best to not seem like he's being opaque. He's trying his best to seem like he's not like just trying to keep the truth from you. Like he is your friend and he is here to help.
He's Mr. Rogers.
Yes, and he wants you to feel comfortable, like asking him questions and trusting him. If you have
Just
any
the right
issues.
amount of transparency.
Arlo
Yeah.
says, you know, it would be perfect if you had a trolley, because we're like going to the land of make believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's hilarious. Yes, that would be true.
I miss my
I suppose we could have probably arranged
Yeah.
something
'Cause
like
we're-
that,
I
but
get it.
again, we felt
I'll
like
take
that
that. I
might
need
have been a
another
little too much.
Yeah.
You asked that while I'm smoking.
I'm gonna take this time to sort of like hang back and reconnect with you, and hey, I wanted to apologize for how I came off before. I try to make good impressions, and that's not how I like to come off. That's not me.
I understand. I mean, seems like we're all in a bit of a little pickle at the moment, but
Yeah.
you know,
Certainly, yeah.
I think that this gentleman is assuaging all of our concerns, and I'm just going along for the journey.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that there's no hard feelings or anything like that.
James, would I know anything, given my knowledge of like history, when these tunnels were built, or like if there's any reference to anything I know about?
Let's see. Do you know a good deal of history?
I do. I have a 70 in it.
Ooh. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and try that and see what
Roll
you
the
think.
dice.
Just make a standard history check.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, you have a lot of history.
I got a 68 under 70.
What?
Oh no, I'm sorry, 86. That's a
Oh, okay. Yes.
Something about
So-
that. Really funny.
Dang it.
Well, you do know, you at least believe that many tunnels were dug into New York in the early days of the city.
Okay.
The fact that they still are in use is really suspect. On the other hand, they were dug long enough ago that if some secret society decided, we're going to appropriate these tunnels and make them our own, it wouldn't be that weird.
Okay.
However, it is not too far of a stretch for you to at least think, if these tunnels did exist, it is super weird to have such a long, continuous tunnel with no egresses or ventilation.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, as you're
Just not
thinking about
breathe.
it, you're realizing that you feel like you should be having trouble breathing, but you're not. Like, you feel like it's well ventilated. Because you're like, oh, you've been walking for a while. We're all chain smokers. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through like half a pack. And
Yeah.
just walked.
But yeah, there's no like obvious vents. You haven't
seriously
passed
did.
anything that looks like wind tunnels or anything like that. But you don't
I
feel like
need
you're having
more.
trouble breathing. Like you feel like the
The
air is
cross
fresh.
joint.
You feel like it's well circulated. But in fact, as you now realize and are thinking about it, being underground and in a tunnel this long with no air vents, it should be oppressively hot down here. It should feel like what it feels like to be in a deep tunnel. Like there should be that deep smell of like stone and moisture and like low oxygen levels. But you're not getting any of that. It feels comfortable. It feels well ventilated. It almost smells fresh, like you're outside in a clean field or something like that.
I'm gonna like kind of walk near one of the walls and like rub my hand.
Yeah,
along it,
that's
like,
what I was
pass it
gonna do.
along
Give it a
as we
poke.
go.
It feels exactly like you expect. It's good stonework. Is earthen. There's a little bit of a feel of like grit from like some of the soily surface of it,
Okay.
but very pristine. Like there's no like sticky chewing gum. There's not like excessive dirt.
I wouldn't expect
There's
a lot of
like
people.
there are no bugs.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's not like fleshy and warm though.
No, it's not fleshy and
Okay.
warm. There are no boogers. You
We're
know,
not
it's
in a
like
colon, a giant colon.
I thought we were in a throat for a
No.
second.
that'd be a really long throw.
Yeah.
That'd be too early too.
Would that
Like,
be a
you had half of your killed in the
Would that
first
be
second.
a deep throat?
Oh,
We'd be in the mouth of madness.
Trying to get around. Just like,
And all of a sudden, as you're like making it, so the tunnel feels like it's pretty much continuous, and you always feel like you're just looking ahead. And then there's like kind of a smooth bend to the right a little bit, and then suddenly you're standing in front of a door, and the tunnel is done. And you're like, you could have sworn just moments ago you were just looking at more tunnel, and there was going to be this never-ending walk, and you're in another gigantic heavy door that looks just like a corollary of the door you came through before. And Ian casually reaches out to the handle and pushes it in, and you can see beyond him a brightly lit room. And he walks in and he gestures for all of you to follow. And you find yourselves in what looks like a library in a giant mansion. You can imagine the scene from Beauty and the Beast, where the Beast introduces her to the library. It's a room very much like this, except it's just one story. So there's not like the ladders that go up to the 3 stories of books and stuff like that.
Arlo is immediately fascinated and starts checking out the collection. I want to catalog this thing.
Oh my gosh.
I want the sense of what this thing has in it.
So it's just lots and lots of like old books that clearly look like the kind of library where people put books there to look like a good library. So you find everything from, look, it's the collected works of Shakespeare, or like opera through the ages, or like Freud's 17 observations on, sexual congress and all this sort of thing. They're kind of like not too well organized, except for the fact that they look great on the shelf in certain places, like books with the same height.
So there seems to be
Nice
no like
fine
catalog system or anything like that.
No, they don't seem to be in any kind of particular order. They don't seem to be like systematically There's not like a psychology section and a comic section. It looks like the books were pretty much placed based on color and symmetry.
Arlo frowns.
Yes.
And there's nothing like mysterious and weird and like
That's
seemingly.
that's the
Like a
But
book
it's all
title,
like, it's all like
Elvis-
normal books. It's
that's
not
the
like,
sign of somebody who
it's
cares
not
more
like
about what it
research
looks like
stuff.
than actually have read any of these books.
In the short time
They have
that
the
we've been able
standard
to
rich
go up
guy
and look at
library
the books that are
package.
at eye level, they look like regular books that you would see in the real world. Like you haven't seen anything that looks like, oh look, is like a book on like circuitry and metaphysics, you know, and
How to cook
understanding of
40
artificial intelligence or anything like that.
How to
Like,
cook 40 people? Is
Yeah.
that in there?
No, that's
Oh.
Is Ian kind of like
Oh, that's what it is. Dang
going to
it.
show us the place, or are we continuing to move through it like we're just passing through?
you are staying here. Like this is a room
Destination.
that looks like a regular thing. He closes the door behind you, and on this side, the door is a very nice oaken door, like you would expect to find in a nice building's library.
So, is this the only door in this room?
Oh no, there are two other doors.
Okay.
that-
Are there
I
any
go over
windows?
and open the door we
There are
just
no
came
windows.
out of.
Hmm?
I will go over and open the door we just came out of after Ian closes it.
After he closes it and you reach for it, the door is locked.
Okay.
Did you see him lock it?
No, he just closed
Yeah.
it behind you.
I kind of like pull on it a little bit and like let it go and frown.
So
I'm going to start
Ian.
perusing the books while people are talking
Okay.
to look at more than just eye level.
There are quite a. Let's see, how much time we need. So, in all the time you look, it's increasingly. You're increasingly confident that these books are mostly mundane. Some of them are like in foreign languages, and you don't read any foreign languages, right? So
No.
some of them are in foreign languages.
I
you're-
speak French if that's relevant.
I do
There-
too.
Yeah. You do find a significant number of books in French, and in fact,
I really need to redistribute.
there's a bunch of books on. Oh no, please!
She knows who the game master is and who to appease.
No, cats know when you're allergic to them.
Well,
It's like-
that's going into the best of season 4. Of
I know,
Super
it's
Pets.
No.
I should have coated my pants with like what? No,
Uh,
catnip.
citrus. Citrus. They hate citrus peels.
Really?
They hate like orange peel. It's very sharp smell to them.
Oh my gosh!
The
so
oil.
What you're saying is I just need to buy a different laundry detergent and I can keep cats away from me.
Or
Probably.
just roll
Yeah.
around in some orange peel,
That would also be great.
I
And
love-
then you smell great.
and then you smell really good.
I love oranges.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, there are a lot of books in French. It turns out now that you're paying attention, of all the foreign language books, the ones in French look like they're the second most common.
Oh, interesting. Oh, it wants food.
No.
So you do notice
It's
there's a
hungers.
book in French on like great art of the Victorian era. There's another book in French on like Marco Polo and his journeys to China. And there's a third book in French on like algebra, you think, or it could be maybe the history of algebra, but you're not entirely sure. There's some equation in there, but there's a lot of words, so it seems like there are more words than a math book should contain.
Okay.
Interesting.
Are there
I'm
any,
presuming you're not just taking any of them out, just like sitting down and starting to read it from the
No,
beginning.
no,
so-
I haven't
Are there
Yeah,
any
books.
sort of like displayed things like specific displayed
There is
in cases or
one.
anything?
There's nothing in cases. There is one gigantic book sitting like on a dais
go
that's
to
like
that.
off on the side.
Ooh.
It's a huge Bible. Like,
Oh.
yeah,
It's the biggest Bible.
What language is that in?
it's in Latin, and
The
it's,
Martian Bible.
yeah, it's a giant Bible, and it's one of those Bibles where you know the front plate of each book has this giant like artwork leather that's been like
Yeah,
inscribed.
yeah.
Yeah, it's glorious. Like
The
you can-
illumination.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that it looks like it's super expensive. Like anyone who has any eye for this as an artist, you look at this and you think, if this is an original, this is one of those like awesome, crazy expensive Latin Vulgate Bibles that are written by monks and stuff like that. It's probably priceless and probably, if not one of a kind, only one of 3 or 4 existing in the world.
Huh.
But yeah, it is definitely one of those things that, interestingly enough, it's just sitting out. Like there's no like guard, there's no glass on top of it. It almost looks as though someone actually uses this as a Bible.
This makes me
And-
think this is like someone's like just like personal collection. Their
Yeah,
house or
like
something.
someone's actually touching it with
This is
their
a
bare
private
hands.
area.
I can't wait to meet the person who owns this collection. This is very impressive.
For those of you who are regularly smoking, the other thing you notice is that there are no ashtrays here, which
Yeah.
in this day and age is actually quite exceptional.
Yeah, I'm not smoking in here.
Like
Is
for
the
those of
floor
you-
carpeted?
Yes. If you're smoking, you're already beginning to notice that ashes are falling, and there's
very
no
rude.
place to put them.
Do the bad guy thing where you put it out in your tongue.
Ask yourself this.
I have
would
like
you
an
care?
Altoid case that I carry with
Oh yeah, I
for
wouldn't.
that express purpose.
I don't give a fuck.
No, that's right, you don't care.
I love that you're like.
Whereas
"Aw,
Leslie's
I
Robert
don't give a
would go,
fuck."
he takes out his
Wait,
Altoid.
I
Does
don't
your
care.
Altoid case have
For a
Altoid
second,
in it?
Oh,
for a
wait.
second, I
it's-
had to
it's
remember.
literally just an Altoid thing
Oh.
full of
Ashtray.
ash.
Oh,
You're like, can I?
Wow,
Because
you are ready.
I am like a chain smoker who's always like.
Oh, that's
going
true.
in and
So you never know.
investigating
Wait,
things, so-
do I see you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Then I do it in his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like.
Oh,
In your-
Don't even ask.
I don't ask him now.
So
I
after
don't mind.
after
You have to,
so
come
Ian
over here at some
notices
point,
that
right?
I
obviously
don't
you
wanna
guys
pick
have
the
become
books.
very interested in this place. So he kind of steps back and gives you like about 5 minutes to sort of like do this thing where you're like looking at everything, like you're in a
Yeah.
museum or stuff like that. And as you approach the Bible, he doesn't like warn you off, like he doesn't say, "Oh, don't touch it" or anything like that. He seems very inviting. He almost feels like he's a supervisor at like a petting zoo. It's like, "Oh, look at these people; they're very interested in our books. We'll let them touch the books a little bit, and they can stroke
Yeah,
the
don't
Bible
scare the prey.
and see how it goes." And then he clears his throat and he goes, "Well, thank you. I'm very glad that you guys seem comfortable here. As I warned you before, you can't return to your homes. Well, at least Mr. Quigley should not return to his home. At least not for a little bit. You all are welcome to stay here."
In the library?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
No, that would not be appropriate. It'd be very uncomfortable. So it may surprise you, but we are actually beneath the Wardolph Astoria.
The
is
what?
that?
How far
It
is
is
that from
the
where we
Oh my
came?
God.
fanciest hotel in New York.
How
Okay.
far was it from where we came?
If you had to
You-
walk there,
you-
you're miles away.
You like say that, and I'm
So
like,
we were walking for miles.
Dang.
It didn't feel like that, but if you
Yeah.
you've now realized
Sure.
in that 40 minutes that you were walking,
We walked
you've
much
covered
further.
like at least 10
Okay,
or
so
15
like
miles.
as like a normal New York pedestrian, you'd be like, we did not walk that
Yes,
much.
yes. But yeah,
Cool.
Beats the subway.
yeah. Desmond
more like,
immediately realizes
I'm
that
gonna
this
get
is
back to
the
my car.
and knows this is the fanciest hotel in the city, and that
That's
to
what
have
it takes.
rooms here is like super high end. Those of you who are actresses, you're also this is fancy. Like this is like
The Wardolph
So
Hotel.
we can
Wow.
stay here.
yes,
or
we have
go
arranged rooms
back
for you in the
to
hotel.
opposite.
Whoa!
Really?
Yes, this is well,
Is it
Alright.
is this a fancy place?
it is very fancy. It's much nicer than what you're
They
saying.
named
now.
a salad after this place.
I'll be honest
Oh.
with you, Ian. You might be kind of crazy, but if you are crazy,
Water
you're a
salad.
crazy guy with money.
Maybe they
It's all right with me.
Well,
You're okay with crazy
shall we
guys with
say
money?
the agency is quite well,
funded.
yes, supported. We
Yeah.
are. Yeah, we have a number of patrons who are very interested in our work and make sure that we have some interest in most of the assets that exist on the planet. We own a part of this hotel, for instance.
And you're positive and you're not interested in the film industry in any way? That's not something that, you know, you entertain?
No. I mean, I'm sure there are departments in the agency that look into that sort of thing, but that's not my work.
I can tell you that's a good way to, you know, increase revenue. Better than beating the stock market, you know.
Yeah. We try to invest in more long-term holdings, as it were. Entertainment is always wonderful, but it's very temporary. Your industry has not been around that long.
Even in the darkest of times, people need to find something to, you know, distract themselves.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I would argue entertainment's been around for as long as the Earth's been around.
That part is true. There are certainly departments that handle that. There are also some families that are particularly interested in these newfangled sort of things. The agency is much more old-fashioned. We like to stick to the basics.
What kind of families? What families? Are we talking about like
Other older families. You know, you've probably heard of the Medici. You know, the old Italian family.
Have I heard them of it,
You have heard of the Medici.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, you mean like the Borgias are involved in this?
Not anymore, but
That was out of character.
Oh, yeah.
Have I heard of the?
you have.
Okay.
In real life, you know who the Medici are, right?
No.
Oh, the Medici
Patrons.
were the super wealthy patrons in Italy. Like, pretty much, if you're excited about Italian art and the great masters like Michelangelo, Raphael,
Okay.
if you're any of the Ninja Turtles, the Medici family was
Funded
involved in paying for their work.
Okay.
Like,
Wait a minute.
Wow.
So you're trying to tell me that like famous people have been involved in this agency throughout time? It goes back that far.
oh yes, absolutely. As I said, we're very traditional here.
Any famous artists?
Some. You know, I'm sure
Really?
you've heard of the well-known Leonardo.
Yeah.
He was, of course, involved. You know, you didn't think he got those ideas from nowhere, right?
Yeah. Don't have to be an art history student. Wait, what?
You've surely seen his drawings.
Yeah, but what do you mean got the ideas?
Well, I mean, his tutors in the agency certainly helped him come up with some of those concepts. They weren't all just his.
Look, I'm sorry, Ian, but I happen to be kind of a student of art history, and everything kind of suggests that Leonardo was the genius who came up with those things.
Oh, he certainly was a genius. He was a fast learner and quite astute. And he definitely took some of the ideas that were provided to him and definitely ran with them.
All
In
right.
fact, you have him to thank for some of what you've already observed. That whole space-time folding thing, some of these concepts, Leonardo definitely helped move us forward in those areas.
So wait, you mean like this agency is kind of like the Illuminati?
I don't know.
Do the Illuminati
this is-
exist, Ian?
This is your time to.
You hear
I
Illuminati.
you
from-
hear a
The
bump,
people-
bump, bump, and I'm there.
Ian,
I got boxes full of it.
are you human?
Oh yes,
What?
very much so. Don't I look
Well,
human?
I mean, we're talking about aliens and everything.
Oh,
Don't I look human?
I feel like
There's a moment where he like turns like 15 degrees and he looks at himself in the mirror. He goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm human.
He had to, he had to double check.
Today.
I apologize. I meant no offense. It's,
I am not offended. That is
There's
a
much-
perfectly reasonable question to ask in a time like this. But to answer your question, sir, the people who call themselves the Illuminati are not the Illuminati you think they are.
But they do actually exist.
There is a group of people who think of themselves as the Illuminati. They don't call themselves that, but they like to think that they are.
Have you ever heard
But
of
they're not.
the Rothschilds?
Yeah, but all right, this is a little bit to get my head around. Oh, okay. Well, let's. I just want to be a little more.
I have in
specific.
my hand the Illuminati notebook of mine.
You're
it's
like,
labeled Illuminati notes.
It's labeled
They-
Illuminati.
they are talking about Rothschilds.
In fact,
Hold
Mr.
on.
Quigley, I can definitely tell you that it would help your work a great deal. If you just got rid of that and stopped taking notes on them, that's a dead end. You're just wasting your time trying to figure those guys out because they're just pretenders.
So the
I
agency.
don't know. I think I'm on the right track.
The-
I'm really confident in this part here.
Yeah, those.
I'm just one. I just need the one thing, and I'll be right there. I'll break it. I'll break it.
So,
Crack the code.
Look, I'm 80% on 6 of them.
so the agency. That's like. I'm sorry if we've already been over this, but I just want to. That's the name. That's the whole name. The agency. No, like.
Well, we've called ourselves many things over the years, and in different countries we have different designations, of course.
What are some
Really?
of these
Like it's
names?
Spanish.
Yeah,
Spanish.
I'd
L
actually be
agency.
interested to know. I happen to know a little bit about old historical cults.
Well,
It would be La.
I apologize.
La agency.
The agency is the French one.
I know it'd be funny. It's like in other places we are simply
Le
called
agency.
l'Agency. It's like look. All of these questions will be answered in due time. There are some secrets I am not at liberty to divulge. We have been called other things in the past, and to be perfectly honest, and I'm really loath to say this because I'm pretty sure when I do, Mr. Quigley's going to take it the wrong way. But there was a time when people called us the Illuminati. But we're not. And we never
Formerly
were.
Illuminati? Question mark?
See, this is exactly why I didn't want to answer your
The
question.
agency formerly known
You're
as.
all sort of at
Illuminati.
different places in your journey, and I'm really concerned that with what you currently know, you take it the wrong way. But you've had a long morning. I feel like you're probably hungry at this point. We should deliver you to the hotel. And once again, try at least for the next day or two to stay home. Mr. Quigley, please do not return to your home until we give you permission to do so. The rest of you, after a day or so, you're welcome to return to your normal affairs. We have rooms assigned to you in a suite so that you may communicate and interact with one another privately, individually, but also have regular contact. And we will be in touch.
Are we? Just,
Is there a way to get our things to our place?
lest I forget,
Sorry.
No.
you should at all times have this on your person. And he goes over to a table that's like, and there's a bunch of these like all over the place. There's like just tables that you can put a book on or something like that. They're just little stands. And he goes over to a table with like a little cigar box on it, and he opens it up, and it's one of those really nice cigar boxes that has like red velvet on the inside, and there are 6 pins in it. And are you familiar with those pins that look like the pins from Game of Thrones, like the symbol of the
Yep.
hand?
Yeah.
Nope.
There's 6 of them, and they're all identical, and they basically all have this like, little brass thing with some weird symbol that looks like a tree or a flame or something like that. And he basically says, you need to wear these on your persons at all times. They will give you a protection more than you can understand. And he holds it out and he invites each of you to take one.
I take one.
Yeah, I'll tell.
So
Can I
Now you
know
don't
what
order
this
pins
is?
off Amazon.
Cute.
Is it widely known enough in your world that I could possibly know what it is?
you've never seen it before.
Even with
Should I call it-
occult knowledge?
In this game world,
Okay.
let's go ahead. Let's
Okay.
try it. Like it is possible.
You want me to roll occult?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I just call it a pin? Magic pin?
Come on, dude.
Fancy
Come on, dude.
collection is
Give
what
me
I
that.
call
Oh, 90.
90.
Right.
You have not seen it. You can actually put it down as like the
Investigators.
Agency
pin.
pin.
Weird
Yeah,
pin that I
agency.
think
Ooh,
should be a
agency pin.
star.
yeah
like that.
agency pin is
That's
fine.
good. Okay.
Sorry, I stole you.
I was so tempted to do that thing where like there's actually 2 sets of pins and you have to pick which one.
Like a Dalai Lama
You
situation.
take that right
Oh no,
out.
I don't know. Are you familiar with this whole controversy in the world of Cthulhu?
No.
No.
There,
This is
in the world of
too boring
Lovecraft and
fact.
Cthulhu, there's a very huge controversy about what the symbol for like the
Oh,
Cthulhu-
the elder sign or the other one? Yeah.
because one of them is like this star with a little flame on the inside of it, and the other one is like this weird thing that looks like a tree branch. And there's this huge fight amongst people who are like fanatics about Cthulhu, which one of those is the actual elder sign, because they're both referred to in different texts. And so there's this whole fight that says you choose the wrong one, and the elder gods would just eat your soul.
That'd be funny if like the different gods battling one another in this world that you've created are the
Yeah.
different signs.
That would be hilarious.
Be like, oh, we're the trees. Oh no, we're the stars.
So yours are actually a weird little thing. It's like the tree thing, but it's got a little flame on it. So it's like a combination. But it doesn't have the star. So
Use the star and you'll be fighting off the old ones with your bare
I know.
hands.
It would have been great if you had made the extreme roll on the count. It's like, wait a minute, this is the wrong one. It's like
He just glares at me.
we're in the wrong department.
Sorry, I'll stop fanboying now.
All right. So anyway, so you all get these pins. You can wear them anywhere you want, but he does suggest that you wear them at all times.
Visibly?
Sleeping. Everything.
You should have them on your person at all times.
I
Or
pin
at
it
least
to my
near you.
look-
Obviously, if you're naked and in the shower, it's fine to have it nearby. I don't expect you to like poke it into your body or anything like that. We're not animals.
I pin it into my underwear.
Yeah, I pin it to my bra.
I put it on my belt.
Is it
Yeah.
cool if I put mine on a chain?
That's fine.
Sweet.
If you put it in your underwear, it'll be uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
Is
start.
it not in
Really?
not in his underwear? Is it like
Well,
on
it's-
the
it's-
underwear.
Well, it's like 4 inches long. And
Should we?
If
should
you
we
sit
keep
down
it
the wrong
visible
way, it's gonna
or
stab you.
concealed?
Oh.
Which is
You
you
which
may
is
conceal it
better?
if you
It's
wish. You
like
can
a
keep
hat
it
pin.
visible if you like. It's quite stylish.
I'm gonna start getting
Okay.
the Ankh off of my chain and putting on the symbol.
Is
Ooh,
there any
you an
chance,
Ankh chain?
like
Yeah.
an enemy of some
Oh.
sort would recognize the symbol, and it would be bad to have it visible?
What?
Yes.
So I will keep
Oh,
it
so we should hide it.
concealed
Okay.
to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I
Wait,
pin
what?
it to the inside of
But
It could be
Okay.
recognized potentially by
but
an
seeing
adversary.
it can also be a warding against those who would be offended by seeing it. So it is a double-edged sword.
I will pin it visibly.
So there's one more thing, Ian. I wondered if I could ask you a brief favor. Could I?
Oh yes.
I know you guys told me not to, but if I just promise to be careful, can I get an easel and some paints up in my room?
Sure.
If I'm gonna be locked up for a
Ew.
day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, Miss Levine, it is Levine, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. It's always difficult with some of these surnames that over the years their pronunciations have changed significantly. We will send for your
Just keep
thing.
that smile.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Yes. So, and he goes to one of the other doors and says, "Right this way, then, if you're all ready." And
Yeah.
he opens the door, and it opens to an like what looks like a lobby with some bank of elevators.
Are there people?
There are no people here.
Was it still? This is still on the library floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Wait,
We're
in the
still
hotel?
we're still under the hotel.
I
But
kinda-
now-
I kind of
but-
figured that we
but
might
now
open
beyond
the door
the
and
door,
enter the main.
It
entrance.
looks like a hotel now.
Oh.
Like it looks like what you would expect like a floor of a hotel to look like.
Yeah.
If it turned out this was like the elevators that took you down to the secret basement level where the
Where the
library
boiler
would
room
be.
would be.
Yeah.
With,
yeah.
with
Next
people?
to the laundry.
Yes.
With people.
But there's no people here.
no people.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Like
Still haven't seen any.
like as soon as you come down here and you go,
Just
oh, this is like where the elevators for the Ward of Historia would come if you were, as she just said, coming down to the boiler room where the laundry was.
I'm still waiting for when people show up. That's all.
How long do you think I'll have to be here, Ian?
Couple days.
Oh.
You- I feel that once you are upstairs, you'll want to stay longer.
Hey, if you're on vacation, right, Theo?
I certainly am.
Look, there's no better place to spend it than the Waldorf. Like,
I never. Okay. Okay.
trust me, it's the best hotel in New York.
As soon as you all
It
get
seems-
into the space where the elevators are, he closes the door behind you.
I immediately walk over and try to open the door back up.
And the door is locked.
Hey.
Oh, and by the way, on this side, the door is like an
No, we're-
industrial
we're-
kind of door. It's like
we haven't
metal,
gone
it's
through
got
it.
like
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah,
round
Very
doorknob and
different
sort of
We
kind
gotta
thing.
go to the lobby
Yeah.
first.
Does it have a keyhole?
Yeah.
Pick the lock.
It's one of those small in the handle keyholes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. All right.